Hey, what's up there, Tour 904? We are now in day 6 of the Big Red Van Build. And today we have a special guest, my daughter Mackenzie. She's got a degree in interior design, and I've asked her to help me plan and aesthetically make this thing look great on the inside, because if I did it, I'm colorblind and it would probably suck. So anyways, Mackenzie, what do we got in store for us today?
All right, well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to see the big red van, and we're red. I was excited. So today, we talked a little bit before meeting today, so we're gonna just solidify some of the things we talked about and then go over some options for finishes.
Okay, good.
So let's start with the floor plan.
Yep.
You guys can probably see we have tape on the floor here to like space out in our minds what it's really gonna look like. So in the back, we're gonna do a queen camper bed, which is the same width as a queen, but just a little bit shorter so that it fits. Then that way we can have 2 people sleeping in here.
But this level right here?
Yeah, so it's gonna be lofted so that we have space.
Sleeping.
We have space underneath that we can run electrical and plumbing, and then that way also we have what we call like a garage where you can have storage that you can access from the back of the van.
Right. Yeah, I'm hoping to have it high enough that if somebody wants to take out the front wheel of a bike or something and be able to bring, you know, a couple bikes in, if they could do that.
Awesome. And so then to the right of the bed, where I'm standing right now, will be the water closet, where we have a shower and a toilet. And you said you got a composting toilet?
I've got a composting toilet coming from Nature's Head. Unfortunately, they are 6 to 8 weeks back ordered. So hopefully it'll be here by the time the van's done.
And so the great thing about the composting toilet is that you can actually move it because it's not attached to the plumbing like a typical toilet is. And since this water closet is fairly small to fit in the van, then that way you have the option of taking the toilet out if you want to, so that you can stand in all of this space while you shower.
Right. Yeah. Or you can't take a shower with the toilet in
there.
Right.
Either way.
But yeah, you can remove it. Well, and you got to remove it when you're dumping it. That's all.
Right. Exactly. So that's our plan for that, and then next to the bathroom we're going to do a bench seat. Yep. Then that way you can have more than just 2 passengers traveling with you if we put some seat belts on it. Mm-hmm. And then you said that you found a drawer refrigerator.
Yes, so we're going to be doing DC powered, so it's running off the batteries. The drawer will come out and it'll be a chest type refrigerator, so typical what you would see, you know, almost like a refrigerated cooler. So the top pops up, and there's several kinds. There's some where there's just a refrigerator, and then there's others that have 2 separate compartments. You can have them both refrigerated and they're separate, or you can have one as a small freezer and the other refrigerator. So
we're trying to, just like we did with the bed, really be efficient with our use of space. So then that way in the kitchenette, all of the cabinetry is dedicated to having a sink going through it and all the storage that you would need for any small appliances and tableware and things like that. So speaking of the kitchen, it's going to be over here on the other side, a little kitchenette. It goes past where the door opens, which I've seen in lots of vans, and you said we're going to do a water attachment to it.
Yeah, so we'll have the sink here, and then on the back side, so back here, when you open the van out, I'm actually going to have an exterior faucet out there with a quick connect, so you can quick connect a hose up to it. You can wash off your feet, wash off your dogs, wash off your bike. You could take a outdoor shower if you wanted to, and that will have both cold and hot water.
Right. So the kitchen's going to have a sink and then just countertop space because it is fairly small, and then that way you could plug in a portable cooktop or an Instapot or a crock pot or something like that. So we're going to have a power outlet there.
Yeah, we're planning on having at least one induction stovetop that you can plug in and then put in a drawer we're not using.
Right, and then there will be upper cabinets on this side from the kitchenette continuing all the way across the bed. That's kind of our plan as far as functionally how it's all going to work.
Right.
And now that we have that in place, we can move on to what finishes are we going to use.
Right. Oh, one other thing too, like, so the cabinets above, people will be able to store their clothes, socks, and stuff like that in. And another thing I thought about trying to do was at the end of this little hallway, underneath the bed, is maybe put some drawers here, so they can pull them out and you can have clothes, almost like a small dresser.
Right. Because the storage from this side would be fairly deep, so it would kind of be nice if you could reach it from this side.
It would basically, be like a little square right here, so you still have plenty of space back here, for storage and stuff.
Awesome.
And we'll probably have more of the electronics up towards the front too, just so you get as much space as possible.
I love that idea, and it'll probably look really good too with the cabinetry continuing like this way, basically.
Right.
All right, so then after we've decided that, let's go on to the aesthetics. So, you and I kind of asked you some ideas of what you want this van to be like on the inside.
Right.
We've seen lots of vans that have that farmhouse or coastal look, and since this van is a fun color on the outside,
right,
you kind of wanted to do something different and fun and a little bit funky and modern, and just make it feel, you said, almost like the feeling of a yacht.
Right. That was kind of my initial thoughts.
Right. So have it be like a luxury tourism feeling in here. Right. So I put together this mood board based on what you and I talked about, just to get an idea of like what is the aesthetic that we're going for. We have lots of squares and circles happening, which gives it that really modern geometric look. And I would love to throw a circle in here, whether it be a little porthole in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. I know you and I talked about that at some point, or a circle mirror, or a circle on the ceiling or something, just so that we can break up all of the squares with a curved line. It gives the room visual interest, and just a pop of something different softens all of the lines. And then we also have in our aesthetic pictures a lot of neutrals, but neutrals that have natural elements such as wood or some warmer colors like a taupe or a brown, just so that we can keep it from looking too sterile and cold, because we of course want it to feel homey in here.
Right.
And then as far as color story, because there is red on the outside, we'd love to pull a little bit of that on the inside.
Right.
So of course we can do that with textiles, but it could also be cool to do it in an unconventional way. Like I saw, there's red grout. I don't know that we'll necessarily be using tile in here because of the weight and the fragility of it, but we could do red in one of my ideas I have for the ceiling. And also, a lot of our inspiration pictures have ambiance lighting.
Okay, yep. So we talked about maybe putting LED strips on the bottom along the toe kicks, right?
Right, yeah.
And they come in multiple colors. A lot of times they have them to where you can program them. You have a remote, you can change from blue to yellow or red or whatever you want.
Right, so I'd really love to see one that could be maybe a warm light and or like a red light.
Right, yeah, because red's really good at night because it doesn't affect your night vision. So if you got to get up and go to the bathroom or just check on anything, you can turn that on and it's enough to where you can see what's going on, but it doesn't, affect your night vision.
Right. And then as far as the cabinetry goes, to give it that really modern, sleek, luxury look, I'd love to see the upper cabinets be like a high gloss. Mm-hmm. And it would be great to have a high gloss finish on the top near the ceiling lighting, because in a small space to have that light reflected out, which would be really nice to make the space feel bright, because a lot of our inspiration pictures do have dark elements to give it that
elegant look, maybe.
Yeah, elegant look. And so if we have some brighter elements to balance it, that would be great. So we could do the bottom cabinets be some sort of dark gray or dark warm wood or something like that, or even black. And since the upper cabinets where your eye level is are bright, then that way we can bring in a dark element while still balancing it.
I gotcha.
And also just the juxtaposition of the finishes of having a high gloss here and a matte or satin down here just gives it another, you know, detail of interest.
Cool.
And then as far as the ceiling goes, oh goodness, my computer's jumping all over on me. Okay. I just had a couple ideas of either that thin wood that was in a lot of our inspiration pictures on vertical surfaces. I've seen it in vans on a horizontal surface.
Right, on the roof line.
Yes, which would be a piece of wood with all these little finger.
Yeah, they're like maybe probably like 1.5 to 2 inch wide planks.
Yes.
So you get the groove in between, like maybe 1/2 inch in between, with a 1.5 to 2 inch plank. So you get that contrast of height.
Right. So that would bring some texture into the space, and most of the time I've seen it where the background is black, and then the pieces of wood are like a medium, just wood color, which I think would look nice in here. But also an idea just to bring in some red, we could do like the background be a deep red where almost you don't even notice it with all the wood sticking out, and then when you look at it you're like, oh, that's a red detail.
Yeah.
Could be cool. Or we could just do a simple ceiling with more ambiance lighting at the top, because that was also seen in a lot of our inspiration pictures.
Okay.
And I think the decision with that really comes down to like what we end up doing with the floor, because we want the floor and the ceiling to balance with each other and not fight. So, as far as the flooring, I think that we have a couple of options.
Okay.
Either option we go with, I would really like to see us use a luxury vinyl tile or a luxury vinyl plank. I use those on a lot of my projects right now. They come in affordable prices. They are known for being scratch resistant, so they're going to wear really well. And there are some that are waterproof, which would be really great for this kind of situation where you might have a muddy dog, or you spill the compost toilet, or whatever. That
could happen. You know, you're bringing that thing out of here and it's full. You never know what might happen between there and there. Right,
exactly. So for that flooring to be really durable against water and scratches and things like that would be ideal. And the cool thing about that too is, like I mentioned before, we were a little bit concerned with tile, because tile, it can be fragile and can crack, especially with something bumping down the road.
Right.
But luxury vinyl tile is resilient, similar to wood.
Right.
So it's good for your feet, and it is good for traveling, and it's going to be lighter.
Right.
So as far as the planks go, I think a nice natural, just like blonde flooring would look nice, because with all of the grays we're doing, it would be a nice way to pull in a contrast color, but a natural color. And I think that just the plain natural wood is kind of timeless and modern.
Okay.
And will bring a little bit of warmth without any competing color per se.
Okay.
And I also saw that in some of our inspiration pictures, and the fact that it's light allows us again to bring some dark elements in.
Okay.
And then the other option would be to do some sort of gray or black stone look luxury vinyl tile.
Okay. That could be cool. I hadn't seen that.
Right. And that
you see a lot of wood floors in these things.
Right.
You know, so that would be a little bit different.
Right, and it would kind of give it that luxe look. Like one of the options I pulled looks like black marble.
Yeah.
And if we end up doing the bottom cabinets with some sort of wood grain, it would be nice to do a tile so that we don't have wood on wood.
Right.
Again, if we do the wood ceiling, then we don't have to worry about this wood finish fighting with this wood finish.
I gotcha.
So those are two great options.
Oh, good. Okay.
And then in the bathroom, just like we talked about how tile might be of a concern, I found this material that looks like a wavy tile, but it's actually made of PVC.
Oh, okay.
So
very cool.
Since it's plastic, it would the water would just wick right off of it.
Right.
And because, like I said, our design has a lot of box shapes, having this texture that has a curve, just like adding a circle somewhere, would kind of break that up and give some visual interest.
Okay.
So if we could do one of the walls as an accent with that wavy look, it could really look like almost like we did a tile, but we didn't.
Gotcha.
And all these inspiration photos I have are within the aesthetic that we're going for, and that's what they used in their shower. So we really want this van to not look like a van. We want it to look like a house, just smaller, you know?
Right.
So that was what I came up with that.
Oh, very cool.
Awesome.
So we would just do, would we do all 3 walls in there with that thing, or how would that look right, or would that be too much? Would it be too busy in a small area? Should we just do one accent wall and the others be basically neutral?
I think it depends on what material we can get to use for the other walls. If we can get a similar like PVC material, like waterproof material, that's flat without the waves on the other walls, it could look really cool just to have the accent so you're not overwhelmed. But as far as even when I design houses, I feel like the really small like powder rooms are an opportunity, like where I love to put wallpaper. You can kind of get away with something crazy because it's so small.
Yeah.
So I think I would like to see the just accent wall, but if it's not possible, I think it would still translate well.
Oh, very good. Okay. Awesome. Well, Kenzie, that was very thorough, and I think we've got a really good idea going forward. So how can people get a hold of you if they're interested in using your service, or having them help you with a room in their house, or if they're doing a van like we are?
Right. So I am currently getting my business launched, so stay tuned for that. I will be having a grand opening this summer, and you can currently find me on Facebook at Mackenzie Trigg Interior Decorator, on Instagram at MackenzieLee_blog, and right here on YouTube as Mackenzie Trigg. I'll definitely be having some new videos coming out because I'm moving here to Florida.
That's right, she is. So her husband is finishing up his master's degree, and they're living in Virginia currently, but they are moving back here within a month or so, right?
Yes, so we are moving really soon so that I can launch my business here.
And we're excited about that too.
Yes. I specialize in residential interiors and also visual merchandising, so I'll be starting a business doing that. So follow me on all of those things to see what I've got going.
Yeah, and I'll put a link to all those in case you want to find her and make it a little easier.
Right, and be sure to subscribe to both of our channels because we're always doing projects together. I know I'm going to be doing a whole transformation video series on my new house that he's going to be helping me with.
That's right.
So just stay tuned for all of our projects.
That's right, so make sure you hit the like button, and if you're interested in the videos that we're doing and seeing more and watching the Big Red Van Build continue day after day, we're trying to go 0 to 60 in 60 days, hit that subscribe button. That way every time a new video comes up, it'll let you know and you can watch it for us. So, but we appreciate it, and Mackenzie, thanks for coming by, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.